Our digital platform, also known as the Savings Pass, is a gift that we give our donors. It has over 1.7 million offers to local and national businesses and over 850,000 international hotels with cashback offers through the app. All donors have access to the app through their smartphone. This platform has proven to be a phenomenal benefit for all EFS fundraising campaigns.
Okay, so everyone can see my screen, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make this just a tad bit bigger so everyone can see this a little bit bigger. Well, welcome to the digital platform workshop, everybody. I'm so glad we have so many people joining this call. So many faces that I know, some of you I don't know, but I'm Leslie Bennett. I'm the marketing director and the executive vice president with the company, also regional vice president. So I kind of run the mountain desert region out here. In cold Colorado, gosh, it's freezing out here right now. I have my fireplace on and everything. So but we're going to kick this off. This is the agenda for this morning. We're going to kick it off with our CEO kind of opening it up. Jay, thank you for joining the call. We're going to just kind of open it up with you, Jay, why we added this opportunity to our team. What is this opportunity? Can you speak about that for a little bit?
Absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for joining the call. Today, we're going to really kind of go over an overview of what this opportunity lays out for all of us. And it's enormous. It fits in so many different linear markets, from schools to sports teams to car dealerships to charities, on and on and on. And it's not labor intensive, and it's all digital. So it's one heck of an opportunity. But I want to start with kind of giving you a quick background on how this came to be and how we're structuring it. This is going to be a company that obviously everybody in elite fundraising has the opportunity to participate in this, but it is a separate linear market. It is a separate business. So we're going to be sending out agreements that are through Charity Hero Fundraising Company for everybody in this specific market of business. So it's a separate business that we're tied to, but it's run separately because it's not on golf courses. It's completely different. It's digital fundraising that fits so many different opportunities that we don't currently do. And Elite's all about golf courses and being on the golf course. So we're keeping these separate, but the opportunity for all of you is there, and we're going to cover compensation in this call a little bit later. To continue down this, I want to lay out that there are going to be different position titles. You can't have, I don't think, rep, assistant territory manager, things like Elite uses. That makes a lot of sense when it is labor intensive and it's on golf courses. This is nationwide. You're not geographically constricted to any degree. So we're going to have an account manager position, an account general manager position, account vice president, and account vice president positions, which again, we're going to go over here in a few minutes. The compensation's phenomenal, by the way, and you'll see it here in a minute. But really, the bottom line is that we have the opportunity to fundraise literally millions and millions of dollars. And we're going to cover it today. We're going to go over the charts. We're going to go over the payouts. We're going to go over best practices with Matt Gibson. Eric Morrison's going to speak with us. And then Ann Myers, who is the CEO and created the opportunity that we've partnered with in this market, she's going to talk about some best practices for us as well. And then we'll go through some next steps. And then what we decided to do is, if we lay out the overall enormity of this opportunity today, then we're going to break down the workshops to be very specific from what you see today. We will have a workshop that goes directly into all of the protocols and what we need to go after schools and sports teams, or car dealerships, or charities that we already have relationships with, our Hero program, all those different opportunities. Some of them land in what we call a different platform. So we're going to break it down into workshops that cover one at a time. And so we'll lay that out as well. The first workshop for actual training to get you started will be coming up on November 7th at, what do you got here, Audra? 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah,
so,
next Tuesday.
Yes. So you know what? It's just been a long time coming. I give you one last thing before I turn it over. We thought about this back with David Meltzer around 2015. And we thought, how in the world can you fundraise without having the issues of shipping product, inventorying out product, handing it out? How can you fundraise and incentivize people to act for specific causes all digitally through a site or through their phone and on and on? And we started this that long ago. And we tried it for a little while. It didn't play out the way we wanted. We made a lot of exceptions, and we carried that forward to a situation where we did a few little campaigns with Brad Moore. And then we really got the opportunity through Trinity, who's with us on this call, and Ann Myers, where we actually have spent a lot of time since last December, the last 11 months, really making sure the foundation of this was completely laid prior to rolling it out, which we're going to do now. So that being said, I'm going to turn this back over to Audra and Leslie. We can go over charts, and then I'll join back in on the compensation.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Jay. We're just going to go off of these charts for just a few minutes. I'll go ahead and start. Basically, there are 4 different programs that can be ran within our digital platform. And as we all know, and maybe some of you don't know, I know we have a couple new people joining our team, but our digital platform and this gift that we're giving back through the digital platform, and sorry if you hear my dog barking, our digital platform has over 1.7 million offers in it on their phones. So they receive this gift and they're excited about it. But this is how we're giving it back. So if we go through our charity fundraisers, you know, our golf tournaments, following up with them, this is for organizations you've partnered with through golf fundraising events, various charitable activities or causes. Okay, so that's the charity side. Now, if you're going through the Hero program, the purpose is for our Hero program, you're utilizing fundraising efforts with your personalized QR code that you've either gotten from me or Morgan, distributing flyers with your QR code, sharing your website link and access, excuse me, your dashboard to track your fundraising. So that is all through the Hero program. Now, our loyalty program, some of you are already utilizing our loyalty program. This purpose is for realty companies, car dealerships, conventions, other businesses. The savings passes are purchased in bulk directly from you. Okay, so that's them purchasing those passes directly from you in bulk. $20 for the company to purchase from the client gifts, and that can be subject to change. Now, teams, schools, and more. This purpose is for educational institutions, sports teams, churches, and other entities that are not purchasing the savings pass directly through the loyalty program. Okay, so there are 4 tiers here, and it's very important that you guys understand the differences between these 4 tiers. Does anyone have a question about this slide right now? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. And Audra, would you mind covering this slide?
Yeah, absolutely. So we will have the CRM updated today, and we decided that we want the CRM to be set up with these 4 different categories. But then we also realized that we utilize the savings pass and the digital platform as gifts out on the golf course. So we're going to make sure that everything is in sync, that if you are talking to, you know, your son's school, that you can click on teams, sports teams in schools, and here are all of the documents that you could possibly need. So right now we just have it all listed out. But you'll see that, you know, there's 2 different decks. You could send out the 2-page deck, for example, to your golf tournament that you just got done, you know, fundraising at, and you just want to give them some quick insight as to how we can continue helping them fundraise, but completely separate from golf. And then from there, you can send them the 19-page deck, you know, that really intricately explains to them what the heck this digital platform is, how they'll share it, how there's no cost to them, you know, to get things going, and how they can actually have quite a bit of fundraising dollars coming in, because it's I've always said it's kind of like a GoFundMe page, but you get a gift for making a donation. So me personally, I would much rather make a donation to support, my niece's school, or my friend is actually on like a bike ride right now from Ohio to Florida. And so same thing, I was bummed that I missed the opportunity to help him fundraise through something like this, because I ended up fundraising with him anyway, but I definitely didn't get a gift back. So we will make sure that the CRM reflects this exactly. And then Anne and Trinity spent a ton of time basically putting together these different documents to make it that much easier on not only yourselves, but whoever you're working with. So again, kind of going back to sports teams and schools, because I feel like that will probably be where a lot of people start initially before they go into the loyalty program and try to, lock down a car dealership or something like that, depending on what your connections are. But there are going to be, FAQs that end up helping that entity that you're talking to, that, are not uncommon for them to come up with, or, just kind of wonder about. But then there's also FAQs for you being on our team here. So we wanted to make sure that we laid this out and that you have all of the documents, decks, and different things to just help you be that much more successful. But we also didn't want to overwhelm you either. So it's going to be really systematic. We're going to have a protocol that tells you, exactly where to start. It'll have the Jot form links, so that way you can go ahead and order your different campaigns as well. And we'll get you guys all not only fundraising for these awesome different causes, or, setting up an apartment complex with a great gift when people sign on for a lease, whatever it might be, but then you can start earning an income over the winter months as well. Leslie, do you mind going to the next slide? Perfect. So we went ahead and laid this out, but again, you're going to have to get used to the new titles. So AM, AGM, those sort of things. I would think of it as, something similar to an ATM, your TM, your RVP, those sort of things, but they will be different from now on. But we really wanted Jay to kind of go over his thought process on like the payouts, the pay structures, and we are confident that everybody's going to be really excited with how we are actually paying people even more now, and what the pay schedule is as well.
All right. Thank you, Audra. So this important part, I want to kind of take my time and make sure you understand it. We're going to follow the same philosophy we've always followed with our golf tournaments and our charities. If the entity, whoever you're fundraising for, wins overwhelmingly first, then you've got a good program. There's no upfront cost, same thing. This is all upside to them, no downside. Once that structure's laid, what about the money that comes through our new company? When it comes through this charities company, then we need to make sure that our team is highly compensated, because it's this is your business inside of ours. It's your efforts that make all of this happen. So we need to make sure that you are in a phenomenal position to make a tremendous living. And you're going to hear some best practices and somewhat of a testimonial coming up here shortly. But the way we're going to lay this out, the titles are going to be, remember, you're going in to fundraise for a school, a sports team, car dealership giveaways, conventions, on and on. It could be really anything, Little League Baseball, on and on. So what we're going to do is we're going to name those positions account manager. Makes more sense. You're account manager of our digital platform. This is the way it works. We're fundraising for your sports team, for example. The person that's more like a TM, to give you an example, in Elite, would be in the account general manager position. And when you're looking at Elite, you're talking about a regional vice president that geographically controls territories. This is not that situation. This is relationship only nationwide. So that person is going to be an account vice president. The compensation's phenomenal. Whatever we bring in on our side, if $20 is going out to our side for what we're raising, for example, for a school. You're at 20, 30, or 40% of that. If we're doing a 70-30 split, that means we're getting 30% of our side of that 30% that comes to us. You're at 20, 30, or 40%. Really, really, really high compensation. But it needs to be that way. So think about it. You go out and you raise Little League Baseball and from our side, whatever, take an easy dollar amount, $10,000 comes in. You're either making $2,000, $3,000, or $4,000 on that deal. And we wanted to make sure that, again, this compensation was much higher than any industry standard that's out there, because the way we structure this, that the way I've always only thought a business should be structured, is this is your business. You control it. You're independent from us working through what we've created. You don't have an expense in that, but it's your business, so you need to make the lion's share of everything. Then we take on all of the expenses on the back end, from the website to building to the $1.7 million businesses to actually providing the Hero Savings Pass to providing Cancun trips, on and on and on. That comes from our side. We end up netting with a small percentage, but our company does extremely well based off volume. I think every company should be structured that way. It should be based off volume, and everybody wins first prior to the company. And if you have a good company and structured properly, you will also win in a big way, but you're completely dependent upon the success of your team. And if you're on the team, anybody on this call, that is the way you want it structured, because my 100% of our company's efforts are to help you produce at the highest level possible. So it'd be 20, 30, and 40%. The only caveat to that is when we're fundraising for a charity or our Hero program on a recurring revenue situation. So there's two types of donations. Somebody's going to go in and they're going to say, I want to donate $50. And they're going to be incentivized to do that. We could be taking a 7-30 split or $20, depending on the type of entity that we are fundraising for. You then are paid the 20, 30, or 40% off of that. But if it's recurring, let's use our Hero program, by far the easiest. When you get the initial investments, and let's say that brings in, again, for easy numbers, $10,000 and you're at 30%, there's $3,000. But we want to create an ongoing lifestyle for your efforts. This is very different than other companies. They would take that recurring revenue and keep it. We are going to share it with our team. So on those, depending if you are at the AM, the AGM, or the AVP level, you will get 4, 6, or 8% of that total dollar amount. Say it comes to Hero program. It all comes in the Hero program. So if you have recurring revenue build out for X amount, you know your percentage, you're going to get that, and you don't have to work for that effort ever again. It's automatic in perpetuity as long as it's in existence. When there's attrition, this will be highly visible, very transparent, and you'll know that Jay McNabney no longer is donating the $20 a month. So you'll see why you're paid and how you're paid. The reporting we've really, Ann has done a great job and made it so it's very visible for our team to see who's donating and how you should be paid. But I did want to set up a situation that you're paid in perpetuity. And when you're talking about the Hero program, look at it from our side. If we're paying out that 8%, oh, somebody have a question? Please keep your phones on mute if possible. So I want to also make the point in this that we're paying the 4, 6, and 8% on that amount in the example I just used. But what is the cause? The cause is the Hero program. It's the 6 to 9 501c3s that money goes to. So if we're paying out 8%, the company is only going to net 2.7%. That means that basically within a fraction of a percent, those entities would be receiving 90% of that recurring revenue like they should. Folds of Honor is great at that. 10% of their net revenue goes to the causes that they support, to everything they claim they're supporting. Phenomenal at that. So are we. We're not one of the corporations that turns around and 55% of it goes to company structure and salaries. There are no salaries in this. We are supporting our team and our heroes. We net very little, but we end up making a good living based off volume. So again, these are the different situations. You will always be paid off of what we receive. If it's the hearing program, it's all coming into us. Gross amount. If it's a school and we take in $20, a person donates $40, we're getting 50%. They donate $100, we're only getting 20%. We always get $20. You're paid inside that $20 on these percentages. And then based off volume in every single person that donates, play out some numbers, just run some numbers yourself, and you're going to hear some numbers coming up. For example, from Matt Gibson, it can become an enormous living. Actually, if anybody jumps into this full time and they don't get near six figures, something's wrong, because the opportunity is much higher than that. It's all fundraising, and it's kind of like the golf industry. Fundraising's antiquated. It's gift wrapping paper, it's popcorn, it's chocolates, it's cookies. Antiquated. How does that help the family? Does it really incentivize them? Is it digital? Is it labor intensive? Do you have shipping? Do you have to deliver product? What was your cost in that product? What was your end net? This disintegrates all of those scenarios. We've put together something really special. And again, in this, please look at this. This is recorded. It'll show how you're making your money. But these individual workshops coming up, we'll get into the specifics. Today was really to give you an overview and a picture of what we've created for many years. And most of the company was really been created since December. The last 11 months, there's been an enormous effort to put this together. And we're going to roll it out in November and move forward from there. So that's everything on the compensation side, you guys. At least you'll have it. You can play back this video. You can get familiar with those numbers. Remember, you're paid off of what our new company receives. So if the charity fundraising company receives 30% of a donation, say you get a $100 donation, $30, your percentage is based off that $30 for each and every single donation throughout the entire campaign. So I'm going to turn this back over then to Audra, and we're going to go through some best practices and go on with the agenda.
Perfect. And I wasn't sure, is Matt Gibson on the call today? I didn't see him on the list. If not, David, do you mind sharing with Matt, unless Matt's on?
I'm here.
You there?
Oh, okay,
good.
perfect.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, just to give him a quick introduction, Matt has been taking this digital platform, honestly, by the reins and teaching all of us how successful you can be. So I don't want to put words into his mouth for him. We would love to hear from you and hear how you got started, what you're working on, and how you're able to see, success so quickly.
Okay. First of all, our company, if you go back, we're like the sleeping giant. And these, when Yamamoto in Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, his comment to the emperor was, "I've awakened the sleeping giant." And our goal here today is to waken the giant that is elite fundraising. So I'm going to start with low-hanging fruit, the things that are right there in front of us that will make it easy for us to have a successful launch in this month heading into Christmas. So the first place we need to look is within our own existing relationships with the charity. Audra's team, David's team, and every team out here has been running golf tournaments for years now. And those golf tournaments, obviously, are charitable golf tournaments. They're raising money in the golf course, so they need help getting more funds in their organization. So the first place we need to start with is the charity programs, and to contact the leader of the charity, say, look, We've been helping you now for a couple of years raise money on the golf course. Let us help you. Let's bring your fundraising to another level using our charitable marketing platforms. Next, that I like to talk about, and one of the things I've done is for those of you with crank demo drivers, you need to contact your local and state high school golf teams and say, look, I'd like to offer you a private demo day of the world's greatest drivers, of the drivers that DeChambeau used to shoot 6158. Now, what that's going to do is a couple of things for you. First of all, it's going to get the kids excited about the crank program and what we offer in, you know, our clubs. But then you're going to meet with the coach and say, okay, coach, I want to help you equip your team with the best equipment, but at a discount. But also, I'm going to help you raise the money you need to buy the equipment for your team. So we're going to create a digital platform, a school platform for the high school golf team to raise the money necessary for them to buy the golf club. For the one team I've done this with in Florence, Alabama, they want to buy 45 crank drivers and 3-woods, and they want us to raise the money to do it. So we're going to create a campaign, run the campaign, use the money to buy the drivers, and all that's going to drive us. You know, it's 45 clubs is about a $9,000 payday, not to mention whatever we make off the digital platform. So, you know, that's a win-win. Plus, guys, when we get high school kids using crank drivers, when they become college kids, what clubs are they going to use? Crank drivers. Right. When they become successful businessmen and women, what clubs are they going to use? Crank drivers. So all we're doing by capturing this young generation is creating future sales for ourselves as crank evolved into the each year with a better version of the club we had before. So this is a win-win-win when we approach that. Not to mention, by getting our foot into the door of those high schools, well, the football team's going to see we raise money for them. The basketball team's going to see we raise money for them, and they're going to want to know, hey, can we do this for our program? And the answer is 100% yes. And so that's taking care of charity best practices, team sports best practices, and then I want to talk about a little bit about loyalty programs. Now, the loyalty program is by far and away a sleeping giant. And they mentioned apartment complexes. They mentioned car dealerships. Well, you know, car dealerships and apartment complexes typically will offer inducements for people to stay with them. And what we've done, and it's in our territory, and talking and working with Eric's group in Kentucky a lot, is we've priced the Hero Savings Pass at $25 with the ability to have 5 of that to be designated by the group that's buying it to their favorite charity. And now this has worked really well in some of the things we're about to unveil in Kentucky. Tommy has got a program in which this company, his wife passed away, and he created a foundation in her memory for cancer research. And so the person that's involved with us is going to get the savings pass into all the mattress stores in America. He's got the access and the ability to do this. We believe there are 16.8 million mattresses sold in America last year alone. He thinks he can capture a lion's share of those. Well, what he's doing with that $5 donation going directly to his charity, if he can sell 2 million mattresses in our program, he raises $10 million for his wife's foundation. Not to mention what Tommy makes from the sale of the Hero Pass. I mean, that's generational money. That's the kind of money that will allow you to leave a legacy to your family. And that's just a piece of the pie. I mean, if you find a car dealership program that's got 30 dealerships under one banner, and you get them to use the savings pass, you find out that, hey, they like to support Big Brothers Big Sisters or the police auxiliary. If they're doing 5,000 cars a month, well, do you see what kind of, that's 5,000 savings pass that you just sold at $20 a pop. That's going to be monthly income. That's 10, that's $15,000 a month income to you sitting on this call. I mean, the reason Jay says if you're on our company, you're not making six figures a year, it's because you're not working the programs. I mean, if you had spent the money, if you had to buy this as a franchise and you spent $100,000, to how hard would you work to make sure that you're getting the money you need, to get your investment back? Well, here it is for you. The chance to make $100,000 a year or more, way more than that. It's right there in front of you. You just have to put the effort in. And what I love about Tommy in Kentucky, Tommy did not know very little about what we offered, but he was willing to get involved and jump in and say, look, I've got these people I know. I have these relationships I've worked for, I earned. I'm going to expose them to what we can offer. And Tommy's already got the program for mattresses. He's got a program for VFW that's going to go out onto these things. You have to utilize your connections and put the things in place. Now, 2 more points and then I'll close. The charitable programs, almost everybody in your community has a charity that operates a thrift store. Now, you say, okay, so why do they operate thrift stores? Well, they get donations in and they get people through their store. Well, a lot of times people will go to the thrift stores because they want to feel like that their purchases are benefiting a charity. So what we want to do for those companies is we want to create an Elite Savings Pass digital program with a Q code so that the charity operating the thrift store can, one, create the campaign that tells more about who they are as a company. Like, are they a drug rehab place? Do they help homeless? Do they feed homeless? Are they a shelter for women? They get to tell their story with our Savings Pass digital platform, and the Q code allows that they're allowed to print this Q code in their store for people to scan. They can put them on cards that they attach to their receipts. They can even print the Q code on the receipts and say, look, if you want to know more about who we are as an organization, please scan this Q code. They scan the Q code, they get to see their story, they get to see the story of the Savings Pass, and then they get the donate button. So what you're doing is for this company is you're creating donors out of their customers. And that's a powerful thing for a charity like that. And then last but not least, our own hero program passes that we can use to raise money for our hero program. You need to become social media experts. You need to learn how to post on Facebook, how to post on Twitter, how to post on Instagram with our Q code so that, look, when we raise money for the veteran programs and they need us to raise money for them, you're helping your own family. And when as you become more digitally savvy in your own, socially media savvy in your own world, you're going to find other charities that we need to contact to help. So in closing, I would say don't wait until you're an expert to begin the process of marketing digital platforms. Your whole team, from Ann and Trinity, your RVPs, your TMs, we all want nothing but success for you. And so you've got to get in there, get in over your head and ask for help to land a big fish. And to give you a big fish story to end, we have in Alabama, I have an agreement with a company called Operation Reconnect. Up until they met us, Operation Reconnect would get a Jeep and they would make it really fancy, and then they would auction it off, or they would do they would raffle it off at the end of the year, selling tickets at $50 a piece. And so what we've done is that we've partnered up beside them to create a professional program there. And so no longer will they just do raffles for this Jeep. We've created a membership program for them where they're going to, instead of a $50 donation and you get one ticket, they're doing a $75 donation at the silver level membership that will give them a entry into the drawing for the Jeep, but it also give them the savings pass, and it will give them access to a newsletter that they're going to use to highlight the Jeep, to just show all the things they've done this year for servicemen. Now, Operation Reconnect, what they do is when servicemen go overseas, they come home, they give their servicemen a 1-week trip vacation, all expenses paid for the servicemen and their families to reconnect, trying to lower the divorce rates among our military servicemen. And they're fantastic. They've been doing this for 10 years. So that's the silver level. The gold level is twofold. They're going to be able to do a $125 donation one time, where they get to get 2 entries into the Jeep raffle and a membership to us. They can also make a $9.99 donation to the program with a monthly to do that. And the final level is the Platinum program. The Platinum program, they are offering memberships at $250 one time, $20 a month. With that, they get two raffles to the Jeep, 1 entry with our Elite Savings Pass, and a Cancun trip. Now, we have taken them from being able to just raise money on this Jeep to giving a membership program that will allow them to talk to their donors on a quarterly basis, tell their story every month, offer advertising to Jeep. And then that's the last piece of the puzzle. That's the left side. The right side of the equation is we are going up the Jeep chain of command. Now, Rough Country does the fix up of their Jeep. Rough Country has 1 million followers, and they're going to do an email blast of our campaign once a month as part of this program. The last part of it is, though, we're trying to get the major Jeep company to marry up with us to give a hero savings pass for every Jeep they sell in America, 680,000 Jeeps a year, to their customers, with $5. It's a $25 hit to the Jeep, with $5 of that going directly to Operation Reconnect. That would raise over $3.4 million for our charity, in addition to what we raised in the fundraiser. And our goal for the fundraiser is, instead of having 20,000 donations or raffle tickets sold this year, is to do 100,000. And so the opportunity is as big as you can dream it. And that's what I'm going to leave you with.
Great job, Matt. Thank you. Phenomenal. Audrey, you still there?
I think you're on mute, Audra.
Sorry. Do we have Eric on the call still? He just saw some success from trying our Power Hour, and we'd love to have you share how that went and what success you guys had.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, team. Wow. Matt, thank you very much. So you're talking about putting me on the podium after that. That means he's averaging about 450 at batting cage, and I'm about 125. So anyway, no, super. And basically this little testimonial I have to give all kudos to, well, number one, Mr. Texas, for finding Mr. Tommy here in Kentucky. I mean, this guy's definitely got the award for thinking out of the box, for sure. And the help with Matt and Ann and Tiffany, helping him along. I mean, we talk pretty much about every other day. I don't know if Tommy's on the call or not, but I mean, just a super kind of reminds you of the old Pac-Man machines. He's just chomping away. But so with the power hour that he got set up, it was for a local middle school in a little small town called Liberty, Kentucky. He was actually the coach there for the middle school boys, so he knew, the coaches and a lot of the parents. So he talked to the coaches, and between him and Ann, they kind of got all the links sent out. And by the time that I got there, because he asked me to come down and kind of I guess be the spokesperson. So that's about all the credit I can take for. But it was just something, we both just kind of didn't really know what we were doing, but we, jumped in with both feet to test the water, and ended up having, I think, about 20 students on the roster as far as the basketball team goes. 12 of those showed up to the gym. The coaches had already sent out the links to them, so they were already kind of up to speed. And basically just introduced myself and Tommy to them, and appreciated their time on a Sunday at 1:00 in the afternoon. And before we could even get started and say thanks, and we'd already raised $250. Like I say, it was a little small community, but as we kind of kept going, next thing you know, it was $650. And within 45 minutes of just basically helping, the parents and the kids kind of get this sent out, and talking to them about having the people they're sending out to share with at least 3 people, that those people would go in a drawing for a trip to Cancun, and just, going on and on with information and asking questions and being there for support. I left out of there, and I think by the end of the day, I think before I could even get back home, we were already up to $1,400 for this, the school program, which was, I'm sure, blew away them trying to, go out and sell chocolate bars and mums and wrapping paper and such. So yeah, it was just it was a great time. It was greatly received, and it's just, I don't know. I think I posted, it was unbelievable. It was real, and it was amazing, and that's just at a low level. So I mean, Matt and Tommy, these guys are like I say, they're swinging for the fence. It's going to be awesome. It's just a matter of getting out there and seeing the people, making the calls. It's a win-win, and thanks to you, Jay, and everybody, Ann and Tiffany, for allowing us this opportunity to help so many people. As a matter of fact, I need to speak to Ann. I've got a couple of, I guess, charity type programs going on that I've been working on, so I want to try to get something going on those. But yeah, the power hour, I think, is important. Like Matt was saying, this was just a small middle school, but the head coach of the high school was there, and he was, well, I can introduce you to the football coach, and obviously I think in high school sports baseball and football have the most need for, obviously, reoccurring equipment. So that's where you need to really go. But anyway, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. And I don't want you to feel like what you've set up is, on like a lower level, because you're just starting. You tried it out and it was successful on your first try. So that's the most important thing for people to hear, that you don't know all the ins and outs, but with the documents that we'll make sure that everybody has access to through the CRM, the Power Hour is one of those documents. So he had success with it, and that's, the most important thing. Next, we want to have Ann, the CEO of the digital platform, briefly speak to us, just kind of share some more information. and hone in on this Veterans Day push to collect some donations for, our hero program, and how to make yourself some extra money as well. Anne, are you still on the call with us? All right, let's see.
Can't hear you.
Oh, she's just muted.
Okay. Can you hear
Perfect.
me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So everybody, spoken already is, said so much, and it's a lot to digest. But I and Trinity and I together have worked very hard to develop something, with coordination with obviously Jay and Audra and all your management team, to bring something that you can do that once you get started, you're going to be addicted to. I will tell you, the amount of money that you can raise is for yourself is going to be staggering. So don't be overwhelmed. Take it methodically. Look at all the information, review it. If you have questions, write them out, send them to your RVP. The RVP and I and Trinity will all look at the questions and answer them for you and get the list out to everybody. There'll be a frequently asked question sheet for the reps to review so they can say, okay, I get it. That question's gone. I've got this. It's going to be so fun, but you have to do it. And the thing about this is it is follow through, okay? The industry itself is all about speed and momentum. So when you are going to first make a list of people that you know that are either friends, family, people of influence that you feel would be well connected, whether it's going to be a coach, a person that is in your church, it is a businessman who has several businesses. All these people will be happy to help you if you ask, because that's the beautiful thing about human beings. We're givers, right? So ask them. I am starting with this company on a new level. I want to be successful. What do you know? Who do you know? If there's anything I do know about this industry, there is not one coach that doesn't need money. There's not one charity that doesn't need money. So nobody's going to look at you and go, what are you talking about? They're just going to say, tell me about your program. All right. You do not have to be an expert. You can say, I have this information for you. Let me send it over to you. Let's review it. And then let's talk. If you need support, you have your RVP and your whole team is there for you. I am there for you if you go to a scenario where you have a national campaign that you have legs on and you want me to support you, because I've been working with Tommy and Matt on some very, very massive deals that are extremely exciting. I can't do the school team stuff, but I am happy to jump in and help you on the levels that are national. The key, though, is making your list and then executing. So let's talk about the HERO program, since it's on the dashboard right now. We're looking at it. This HERO program, we have Veterans Day on November 11th. We are going to ask all of you to take your QR code and your special link that's already been created. And if it hasn't been created, let's make sure you get it. And you're going to send it out to all your friends and family, asking them to support this important cause for Veterans Day. Now more than ever, with the war in the Middle East, everybody is feeling very, very concerned about, what does the world look like? What is it I can do to maybe ease my concerns? Well, supporting veterans is a very feel-good scenario. So that Veterans Day is right upon us. So be ready to do that. Also, post on social media. Tell them, this Veterans Day, please support this very valuable cause, and you're going to save a ton of money, with the app. Then also go to businesses. You may have relationships with businesses that you go to all the time, whether it is a 7-Eleven where people walk in and out all the time, and you put up a flyer that, says support our veterans, or it's a restaurant or a fast food place, any place that, I don't think that the worst thing that happens is they say, no, I won't put it up. But if you think about it, who's not going to want to say, of course, let me put it out? So print out, 20, 50 of these flyers and go around your community and ask to be posted. Also think about, like, if you are, an elk, or you're in the Rotary Club, those people would be a perfect person to approach as well, because they're typically very civic minded. And that would also give them an inroad to then eventually say, hey, you have a membership. Maybe we could do a membership feed with the Hero Savings Pass, or we could do a fundraiser, because some of these groups, like Tommy has a VFW, which I think it's going to go national. That started from a conversation with one person, right? So knowing that you have a relationship potentially that would reach maybe a small segment and then go, national is phenomenal. On your schools and teams, ask your friends, ask your family, hey, I know that Joey goes to school in this, grade school. Does the school need money? Or who's the principal I can speak to there? Hey, my, your daughter goes to a high school, speak to the coaches, speak to the athletic director. The thing I can tell you about the athletic director is that they love this program because they can run every single sport through this platform. We set it up with each sport, obviously, with a different goal and a different, what we're building money for. But the reason why they like it is because it's a national reach. So they're not going to the neighborhood that's getting bombarded with cookies and candy and all the garbage that's being sold that are, by October, they're like, I can't buy one more thing. But they're reaching out. We're reaching out to the, aunt in California, the uncle in Texas, wherever those people are that are their support system, and they're donating from the far so that you can easily and quickly reach 20 people and get 20 donations. All right. So it's a very different animal. And once you start it, as I say, you're going to be like blown away. When it comes to the charity golf tournaments, think about your relationships. Who do you really connect with that if you were to call them and say, hey, I've got a digital platform now, they can raise you money year round. We will customize it. There's no upfront fee. I know that you're going to crush this. This is going to be so supportive for your efforts, for your cause. Put them on your list. Or let's imagine it's a charity that you have a connection with through another friend of yours. Ask them maybe to help you be on that call. It is really the opportunity is endless. And one thing I will say, Matt Gibson said to me the other day, he goes, I get so excited to wake up every day, because every day is that opportunity to achieve something bigger than you could possibly imagine. And that is, for me, a really valuable thing in life, because you're evolving every day, right? The other thing I wanted to just say is, if you have you make your list of your people that you want to initially approach, and then get your hero program, because Veterans Day is literally tomorrow. It's coming right up. You're going to want to really get on that, because if you could get your flyers out to all of your businesses next week, take that whole week and just get them out in between appointments or whatever else you got going, so that you can have that ready to go. What's the beautiful thing about that is, once they're up, they'll be working for you. So you're going to see on your link, you're going to be able to see the donations come in. You're going to be able to know, okay, the people that I have sent this to, my friends and family, you can see who has responded. The people that haven't, text them and say, hey, I know that you care about the veterans. I haven't seen a donation. I'm just reminding you Veterans Day is the 11th. It's not unheard of to remind people to support a cause. This is very important and very valuable. So I think that's really all I wanted to say today, but I'm so excited for all of you. I know you're going to be tremendously successful, and think outside the box. Don't be afraid, because no one is an expert. The only way to become an expert is to do it over and over and over. And then you will be teaching other people. All right. And then you're going to be meeting people and you're going to be bringing them onto the team because they're going to be like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. Can I work for this company? So it's super exciting. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So next steps, she just shared that we have a couple challenges or goals for everybody. And so the first one would be to make sure that you have your own, flyer and campaign started. If you do not have one, contact your RVP so we can make sure that that we can make one for you ASAP. But the first challenge would be to get 20 donations for Veterans Day, because it makes, the most sense for our hero program. And the next one would be to have 5 campaigns started, no matter what type of campaign it is, whether you have connections with your kids, sports team, a school, whatever it might be. But let us know how we can help. But that would definitely be where to start first. Before our next training workshop next week, next Tuesday, at 10 a.m. Pacific, we're going to be going over, in much more depth, exactly what all the different steps are to get a school and sports teams fundraiser up and running. But before then, we would love for you to go onto the CRM to review all the documents and then have questions prepared for that workshop so that it's clicking that much more. And then we'll have you do the same thing for our last workshop when we announce that one. But at this time, Jay, was there anything else that you wanted to add before we close out?
No, you know what? Great overview, everybody. I think I just wanted to share a couple things. First, thank you, Matt, Eric, and the CEO of her company, phenomenal business lady that's given us this unique opportunity. Last thing I want to share before we sign off and get ready for all the workshops so we can truly implement this and get it rolling is that in every business, you really take all those, what business is? It's relationships. That's how we built the whole golf situation with Elite Fundraising Solutions. Having great relationships, great programs, and helping them maximize what they raise. But there's an end game. And that end game, absolutely, we believe, is this company. We take all the relationships that we've built, in addition to all of the other linear markets we've never touched, and it's not labor intensive. It gives back. It puts that entity first. It fundraises for them. There's no expense to it, and enormous upside for the entity first and for our team second to make a tremendous living. So I just really hope everybody really grasps this, because there are many people that we will start bringing into this company to do only this. And please take advantage of all the situations that you've worked so hard, all those relationships. Remember, that relationship wins first. If I call every charity I've ever been involved in, and they're getting free digital platforms and raising money they didn't have, and it's all incentivized on our side with our expenses, it's all upside. That's what I love about this. It's enormous upside, and financially, as Matt had said, truly generational wealth. He pulls off the one Jeep deal. Run those numbers. It's life-changing for generations. And we've got the chance. We're on the forefront. We have the most robust incentive program ever created in the United States. 1.7 million businesses. We have the right platform. We have the right teams. And we're going to keep expanding. And I just want to thank everybody for joining this call, because this situation is about as unique as I've ever seen during my 60 years. So thank you very much for joining today's call.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks to everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.